Welcome back, students, to another session of ICAN Intelligence. I'm your host, and as a seasoned ICAN examiner, I know exactly what it takes to guide you safely through the high stakes of your exams. Today, we're diving deep into an absolute must-know, Chapter 41 of the Skills Level syllabus. We're talking public finance management and accountability. Now, think of this chapter as the vital bridge between public funds and public trust. It's basically the whole foundation of how we ensure government entities are managing resources the right way. So let's get into this explainer and build up the exact theoretical ammunition you're going to need to secure those maximum marks.
But wait, before we start memorizing lists or definitions, I want you to just pause for a second. Ask yourself a highly strategic question. If this chapter actually pops up in your exam, what is the examiner really testing? I mean, what's the psychology behind the question? Just take a second to think about that.
While the answer is incredibly specific, the examiner is testing your grasp of how the government is held responsible for public money. To get your marks, you absolutely have to prove you understand this through three specific frameworks. We're looking at the concept of fiscal transparency, the IMF Codes of Good Practices, and the ICAN Accountability Index. If you master these three areas, I guarantee you'll know exactly what the marking guide is demanding.
All right, let's jump straight into subtopic A, the concept of accountability and fiscal transparency.
You know, examiners absolutely love to test these two definitions side by side, and we are looking for very specific keywords in your answers. Let's start with accountability. According to the study text, accountability is an obligation to answer for the execution of one's assigned responsibilities. It's the requirement to provide an explanation about the stewardship of public money and exactly how it was used. Listen, the absolute crucial point here is that word obligation. As an examiner, when I'm grading your script, my eyes are literally scanning the page for obligation, execution, and above all, stewardship. If you write an entire paragraph about public accountability, but you don't mention the stewardship of public money, you're just leaving valuable marks on the table.
Right. So next up is fiscal transparency. If accountability is the obligation, think of transparency as the how. Fiscal transparency requires the government to carry out all aspects of its budgeting responsibilities with openness, trust, basic values, and ethical standards, so that everything is totally transparent to the public, meaning nothing is hidden. To grab full marks here, the mandatory terms you need to lock into your memory right now are openness, trust, and ethical standards.
To put that into perspective, let me share a direct quote taken straight from a past examiner's report. It says, "Where a government has something to hide, public reporting is more likely to be unreliable and less comprehensive in order to hide material facts." This is brilliant because it perfectly illustrates the real-world consequences when transparency is missing. When an examiner puts this in their report, it means they want you to deeply understand that transparency isn't just some buzzword. It's literally the ultimate defense against unreliable financial reporting. Definitely keep that quote in your back pocket for exam day.
Okay, moving right along to subtopic B, the IMF Code of Good Practices.
Now, I see students panic all the time when they spot the letters IMF in the syllabus. Please do not let that intimidate you. It's actually just a really logical four-point framework designed to ensure fiscal transparency all over the world. Here is the full list. First, clarity of roles and responsibilities. Second, public availability of information. Third, open budget preparation, execution, and reporting. And fourth, assurances of integrity. Let's just walk through the logic of this together. Think about it. A government first has to know who is doing what, right? That's clarity of roles. Then they have to make that financial info public. Third, the actual budgeting process itself has to be open. And finally, the numbers they report at the end of the day must be accurate and honest, which is your assurance of integrity. Examiners frequently ask for this exact list, so you've got to memorize all four.
I actually want to zoom in on that fourth point for a second. Assurances of integrity. Why? Well, because it specifically popped up in question 4B of a past Pathfinder. If the exam asks you to expand on this point, you have to state three specific things. Number one, fiscal data must meet accepted data quality standards. Number two, budget forecasts and updates have to reflect recent revenue and expenditure trends. And number three, data in fiscal reports should be internally consistent and reconciled. Basically, it's not enough to just write that the data has to be good. You need to use the exact phrasing regarding data quality, forecast trends, and internal consistency.
Let's shift gears to subtopic C, the ICAN Accountability Index, or the ICAN AI Pillars.
I really need you to pay very close attention right here.
This area is highly testable precisely because it is the Institute's very own framework. As an examiner, testing you on ICAN's own index is practically a given over a few diets. The index is built on 6 foundational pillars. You have to list them fully, without summarizing, without cutting corners. Let's run through them. 1. Policy-based fiscal strategy and budgeting. 2. Budget credibility. 3. Management of assets and debts. 4. Probity, accountability, transparency, and disclosures. 5. Controls in budget execution, accounting, and reporting. And 6. External audit and legislative scrutiny. Look, I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but I promise you, memorizing these exact headings, just as they appear in the syllabus, is your undeniable path to maximum marks. Write them down, practice recalling them.
Actually, before we review, let's talk about a huge psychological trap I constantly see when I'm marking scripts. Students will frequently mix up accountability and transparency. Here's my foolproof rule of thumb for you. Accountability is the obligation. It's all about explaining the stewardship of funds. Transparency, on the other hand, is the method. It's operating with openness and trust so that nothing is hidden. Please don't interchange them. If a question asks for accountability, hit me with stewardship. If it asks for transparency, give me openness. When you separate these clearly in a theory answer, you immediately signal to the examiner that you are a highly prepared candidate.
Okay, let's look at a quick section summary, locking in the core concepts.
Take a deep breath. We're going to pause the flow of new info for just a moment. I know your cognitive load is pretty high right now, so let's calmly summarize what we've covered to really lock these core concepts in your long-term memory before we jump into the testing phase. Here are your principles, locked in. Accountability is fundamentally about stewardship and obligation. Transparency requires openness and trust. The IMF codes rely on 4 clear practices, heavily emphasizing reporting and integrity. And finally, the ICAN AI framework is firmly built on 6 specific pillars of fiscal management. You should feel confident. You now have the exact theoretical ammunition you need to face the examiner on this chapter.
Time for our active recall session, past question link. All right, let's put you in the hot seat for an active exam simulation. I want you to mentally prepare to recall what you've just learned, looking at exactly how the Institute has tested these topics in past Pathfinders. Let's take this recurring past theory question. Explain the concepts of accountability and fiscal transparency. How are you approaching this? Boom, immediately. Your brain should fetch the keywords stewardship for accountability and openness or ethical standards for transparency. You define accountability as the obligation to explain the execution of responsibilities and stewardship of public money. Then you define transparency as carrying out budgeting with openness and trust so nothing is hidden. That's a perfect answer.
How about this past question? Enumerate the IMF Code of Good Practices in Fiscal Transparency on Assurance of Integrity. Notice the trick here? The examiner combined 2 elements. First, you list the 4 main codes: clarity of roles, public availability of info, open budget prep, and assurances of integrity. But then, because the question specifically asks on assurance of integrity, you have to detail the data quality rules, the requirement that forecasts reflect recent trends, and the need for internal data consistency. Do that, and you extract every single mark.
And finally, we have this past theory question. Discuss the role of ICAN Accountability Index covering its 6 specific pillars. Look, for this one, there are absolutely no shortcuts. Full marks are only awarded if you list all 6 pillars exactly as they appear in the syllabus. Policy-based strategy, budget credibility, management of assets and debts, probity and transparency, execution controls, and external audit. If you try to summarize or skip even one, the examiner literally cannot award you the full marks allocated to that section.
And that brings us to our final chapter recap. Just take a look at this checklist. You've just mastered the concept and keywords of public accountability. You've mastered fiscal transparency and the real-world implications from that examiner's quote. You memorized the 4 IMF codes of good practices and the 6 pillars of the ICAN Accountability Index, and most importantly, you now know exactly how to tackle past theory questions to trigger those maximum marks on the marking guide. You have successfully conquered a massive chunk of high-yield exam material today.
I am incredibly proud of the focus you've brought to this session. Always remember, passing the ICAN exam isn't about fear or luck. It's just about structured preparation and giving the examiner exactly what they are asking for. If you found this explainer helpful on your path to exam success, please be sure to like, subscribe to ICAN Intelligence, and share this with your fellow students who are also grinding for the exam. Also, drop a comment below letting me know which ICAN topics are really giving you a tough time so I can break them down for you in our next session. I'll leave you with this final thought. If public accountability is the ultimate bridge of trust between a government and its people, What happens to a nation's future when that bridge collapses? Keep studying hard, stay confident, and I will see you next time.